Welcome to the Great Lakes Fishing Podcast presented by Fishhawk Electronics. If you're looking for news, tips, and stories about fishing the Great Lakes, you've come to the right place. And now your host, Chris Larson.
Welcome to the Great Lakes Fishing Podcast. COVID-19 has changed fishing plans for anglers throughout the Great Lakes region. Some couldn't get on the water, charters were not allowed, boat launches were closed, things were tough. As life slowly starts to get back to normal, we're seeing fishing tournaments return. I was in Niagara Falls back in January and had a chance to visit with several top anglers from that area. I visited with Matt Dunn from the Lake Ontario Trout and Salmon Association. The group is also known as LOTSA. We talked about LOTSA's upcoming tournaments this summer. Now, the format of the tournaments have changed due to COVID-19. There won't be a post-tournament barbecue and raffle. LOTSA has also changed the weigh-in process to limit the number of people in one area. You can see the new revised schedule and rules by visiting their website at LOTSA, L-O-T-S-A, LOTSA1.org. Here's my interview with Matt Dunn. We cover the tournaments and how LOTSA is growing the sport of fishing. And we are here with Matt Dunn from the Lake Ontario Trout and Salmon Association. And Matt, we want to talk to you today about your tournament. First of all, tell us about LOTSA, Lake Ontario Trout and Salmon Association, and what the organization is all about.
We're a club with mostly rec fishermen. It's based on teaching new fishermen into trout and salmon, generally trolling, kids to promote the fishery. And it's mostly just weekend guys. And there's some serious tournament anglers too. So there's a really good mixture of fishermen in the club to really teach the new guys and promote the fishery. We do a pen program out of Alcott, New York. And we raise 67,000 kings and 3,500 steelhead. We raise the fish for about 3 weeks, and depending on water temperature, and then we release them into the lake at night. Mm-hmm. And that's for the bird, so the cormorants don't get the little fish that we release. But we raise the fish. They try to get them to be a little bit bigger, so the survival rate's better, and also get them to think that Alcott is their home port, and to have them return there instead of the Salmon River where the hatchery is.
Tell us about the LOTSA tournament and what it's all about and what it's like.
It's a small tournament with a big tournament feel. We have around 40 boats. The last 3 years been over 40 boats. And it's towards the rec fishermen, but they're fishing a tournament that feels like it's a big one. Mm-hmm. It's a small entry fee. It's only $60. And there's actually 3 separate tournaments for that weekend. You have to be a LOTSA member, which is $10, which has been since the club started. And the Friday tournament is your 3-fish box, and it's free. Mm-hmm. So you don't have to even fish or sign up for the Saturday tournament. It's the 3-box fish, and we pay back 3 spots with the largest fish turned in also wins a prize. We have a hot dog cookout and pop and chips, all for free.
So this is just an opportunity for people who maybe think that fishing in a tournament might be above their skill level. Give them an opportunity to get out there in the water with you guys.
Yeah, it gets them to kind of learn how tournaments may work. No entry fee, so it encourages all types of anglers to do it, and it kind of gets other guys pre-fishing for the Saturday tournament.
So what is that like? What is that group like that's fishing in that free tournament on Friday? What's the kind of the range of skill level out there?
It's from guys that have a 16-foot boat with 2 manual downriggers and 2 rod holders to guys with 30-foot boats. And everybody talks to each other. It's pretty open communication. Saturday is a little bit more maybe than Friday, but everybody's there to watch people catch fish and help other people catch fish. It's not a tournament where everything's very secretive. It's a very open tournament with encouragement of people being successful.
And really that's what's behind LOTSA. You guys are really an educational group. You have meetings every month, and you've got kind of a classroom concept to that. Tell us about what a meeting might be like with you guys.
We try to get captains to come to meetings and explain, maybe in the springtime, they'll talk about tactics in the spring or summertime kings. Last year and this year, we're having actually at a boat. So we'll go down to the marina in the back of a charter guy's boat, and they'll go through their tackle and tactics they do. It's a lot of question and answer kind of deal, but the people that may not know as much about fishing can see hands-on the actual tackle that these guys are talking about and how to use it. So it's very beneficial for that.
Awesome. We talked about the Friday tournament. What's the Saturday tournament like?
Saturday tournament's it's $60, and $10 goes towards our picnic, which I'll talk about in a minute. But we pay back, depending how many people fish the boat. With over 40 boats, we pay back 11, 12 places. Mm-hmm. And it's one big fish. So anybody can catch one big fish. You could not know what you're doing at all and just put down the right lure at the right depth and catch that one big fish. Or you could be a skilled fisherman and get a big fish. It's anybody's. It's very fair. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what it is. It's just basically, I guess, luck of the draw. And it's $50. It's low entry. Good payback.
What kind of fish are we bringing in on those Saturday tournaments?
It's generally kings or coho. We do have a little side term that you can get into if you're a little more competitive. It's called a 3-2-3. You can turn three fish in over 2 days. It's kind of spin off of Michigan's 3-3-3. And you can also turn in steelhead, browns, and Lakers for that, but we have a size limit to try to encourage bigger fish to be turned in. We don't want smaller fish killed just for this little side bet.
Sure. What was the weight of the winning fish last year?
The winning fish, I can't believe, I think it was maybe 20, high 20s. I can't remember exactly what it was, but we've had it happen a few times where the summer LOC tournament, fish has been caught during our tournament. So generally the fishing's very good. It's towards the end of July when the fishing in our area is generally excellent. So there are some really good kings turned in during the tournament. And last year was excellent. A lot of mid 20-pound kings and full boxes. So it was a good turnout, and it was pretty exciting.
Yeah, so let's talk about that for a second. The Lake Ontario fishery. For people who haven't had a chance to get out on Lake Ontario and do some fishing, what's it like right now?
People are a little discouraged by the high water, but the fish are there. It's excellent. The spring times, generally in the Niagara area, is very, very good, and generally all the way through it's pretty good. After lake flips or something like that, might have a little downtime, but in general, the fishing on Lake Ontario is very, very good.
Tell us about some of the people that are helping you guys out with this.
It's all the manufacturers. It's a couple new guys this year. It's a tough thing to ask people for donations, and I think the people know that. They're always very pleasant and say, we're more than happy to help you. They know what LOTSA is all about. We're giving back to the fishery and teaching people and trying to raise fish and keep it going. So whenever we're asking for donations, everybody's been great.
You talked about a little bit there, but why is an organization like LOTSA, why is that important?
Well, salmon fishing is not the easiest thing. There's a big learning curve. I was lucky to have someone teach me that did it their whole life. So it was a little quicker for me, but for someone that doesn't have that, you need a little more guidance to go out there and be successful. And there's a lot of new products to use, and there's different tactics you need to use to be successful. Otherwise, you'll go out there and you lose a couple $100, tackle very quickly. So lots of kind of guys really kind of show you how to run things right, go out there, be successful, get phone numbers from guys in the club, and kind of find out where the fish are before you go. So it teaches you where to go, or teaches you how to fish, and helps you, give you a starting spot maybe when you go out when you only go once a week.
Is there something I didn't ask you about that you wanted to talk about?
Just, if you haven't seen LOTSA, go on their website, LOTSA1.org, and you can kind of check things out. All our sponsors are on there, and you can kind of see what, if you want to get involved. It's a great club. Everybody's friendly. You're there to talk fishing and learn fishing, and if that's what you want to do and enjoy Lake Ontario, you should join it for $10. For $10, you don't get a lot these days, and it's a bargain.
Thanks to Matt and LOTSA for hosting us. We've got some great shows coming up, including episodes on fishing Lake Michigan out of Port Washington, Wisconsin, and river fishing for king salmon. If you have a show idea or can recommend a great guest, feel free to drop me a line by email at chris@greatlakesfishingpodcast.com. Thanks for listening. Talk to you soon.
Thanks for listening to the Great Lakes Fishing Podcast presented by Fishhawk Electronics. For more information on fishing the Great Lakes, visit our blog at fishhawkelectronics.com.